Time to get this video on the road. Where to start? Final Fantasy VII. My favorite game in the entire world. I've been playing this game since the late 90s. And I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped falling in love with it. I love the story. As a matter of fact, Final Fantasy VII was the first game that really expanded my horizons when it came to RPG games. You know, when I was growing up, I always thought an RPG game had to be something of swords, dragons, fantasy, shields, magic, that kind of stuff. And then Final Fantasy VII came out, which I believe JRPG. You know, it has everything in there. It has those elements, but something a little bit more modern, a little steampunk, if you will. I don't know. There's just something about it. I mean, it was the first 3D game that PlayStation 1 came out in the Final Fantasy series, and I just completely fell in love with it. I remember my friend Warren just bringing a copy over it, and we would just play it every day. You know, just grinding the game, getting to the higher levels and getting all the materia and all the summons and everything. And I was just having a blast playing it. And I don't know what happened to that original copy. I ended up losing track of it or something, but it wasn't but maybe a good 7-8 years ago I purchased another copy just so I can have it in my collection. I'm not ever letting it go, you know. So now I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like my third run through with it. But I've only beaten the game once. I know it sounds weird, but I'm just loving it. I'm trying to get every aspect of the game that I can, all the trophies and whatnot. Like I said, I recently procured a PS5, and I wanted to play it on there. And eventually I'm going to download the Yuffie episode because I want to play that as well. I don't know, man. It's like when Remake came out, it was a whole different ball game. It wasn't what I expected. But I don't dislike it either, you know. And some fans are actually on the fence about playing it and whatnot. I love it. I think it's a great game. I mean, I'm playing it again, so I keep going back to it. So I'm kind of actually preparing myself for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is a game I'm really looking forward to. I don't know when it's going to come out, but when it does, it's definitely going to be added to the collection, and I am going to play it a lot. So I'm kind of torn between the characters of who I like the most and everything. Obviously, Cloud Strife, he's going to be a big one right there. I think one of the characters that I found in the original Final Fantasy VII game very interesting was Vincent Valentine. Anytime I play a run-through for Final Fantasy VII on the PS1, I always have to get Vincent Valentine in the group. And I still pick up Yuffie as well. So just playing through it and just enjoying the story, like, I don't ever get tired of it. So I want to see more, which more has come out for the game. I mean, we have spin-offs. You know, there's some games I wasn't able to procure or get, like on a mobile phone. I think it was called Before Crisis, which would have been really cool if, you know, Square Enix would come out with that. I got to play Crisis Core PS5 on PS5. They actually ported it over to the PS5 and everything. I never got to play it on the PSP. Always wanted to, though. Which one day that'll be my goal, is getting a PSP in that game along with it. But it was a great game. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And it's a really good segue into the Final Fantasy VII game. And I recommend anybody playing it. That way you get to know the main protagonist, Zack Fair, which he really grows on you throughout the game and everything. But anyways, jumping back into Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, so just playing through it and everything, going through the story, and you get to know these characters and a little bit of their background, you know. You got Barrett Wallace, you got, Sid Highwind, you know, Yuffie Kisaragi, you got Vincent Valentine. You don't really know too much about his background in the game, though. Cloud Strife, obviously, Tifa Lockhart, and Aerith Gainsborough. Aerith or Aerith? I don't know. I've been calling her Aerith, so maybe you guys can tell me what you've been calling her. Aerith or Aerith? I think it has to do with the version that you play and everything. So moving forward, years go by. I think it was almost 20, 25 years now and everything, and then you get some glimpse of they're remaking Final Fantasy VII. I think what really was the biggest change in it as when we found out it was going to be, before we played the game, it was going to be episodic. So Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, so that's 1 out of 3 right there. The next one's going to be Rebirth. I don't even know what the third one's going to be. All I know is I'm going to have it in my collection and everything. gotta have it in my collection. And maybe we can see more of the character development, the story arc build. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of Vincent Valentine and Yuffie and Kate Sith and Sid Highwind, you know, seeing all those characters show up in it. I don't know. I mean, I'm very excited to see what it's going to be like. So I'm, like I said, bashing through Final Fantasy VII Remake right now. I'm having an awesome time playing through it again. And I'm a big, you know, voice actor when it comes to listening in on the characters and trying to pick out who they are and everything. And there's been a couple of them. I'm obviously a huge fan also of the Gears of War series. So far I've heard 2 voice actors that are in the game. Heidegger, who's played by John DiMaggio, who's also, you know, aka Marcus Phoenix to me. Some people consider him as Bender from the Futurama series. And then you got Don Corneo, played by the great Fred Tatasciore, who I actually had a pleasure of meeting at a Dallas Fan Expo Comic-Con last year. Amazing experience. I got to hang out and I got to kind of just talk to him briefly because, you know, he had a crowd of people waiting to get his autograph and everything. You know, I told him everything from, like, you know, one of my inspirations of wanting to be a voice actor and whatnot. He even gave me a few pointers of, you know, what direction to go to when it comes to voice acting. And he was just all out cool dude. And this guy is also Damon Baird, who happens to be my favorite Gears of War character in the series right there. So really awesome bucket list right there, checked off. Got to meet him and everything. I'm hoping to meet the other 2 voice actors, you know, for Coltrane, of course, and Dominic Santiago. Looking forward to that. Comic-Con is coming up here pretty soon. So far, I haven't really seen anything Final Fantasy VII-ish about it just yet, but who knows? I may be surprised. So yeah, I'm going to continue playing on Final Fantasy VII Remake. I love where the story's going so far with it. I'm kind of interested in seeing how they're going to bridge where they left off in the game to the new one, because now all of a sudden Zack Fair's alive. Spoiler alerts, by the way. So I want to see where that goes and everything. I want to see where the story goes, because I don't know what it is about this. I mean, I have so many great memories, so many fond memories of it, you know. Final Fantasy VII right there, my own personal copy, PS1 right there. Oh God, I mean, I'll never get rid of this. I love this story. I just want to see where else it goes and everything. And I've seen, you know, Advent Children. I got that on DVD and everything. Don't have the completed edition yet though, but eventually I'll have that in my collection, hopefully. And then once we move on, we'll see where else the story goes with Final Fantasy VII. So anyways, guys, that is my video today for Final Fantasy VII. You know, if anybody is out there and who's a fan who likes playing the series, I'd really be interested in hearing your comments and hearing about your favorite moments of the story so far, whether it be the old school Final Fantasy VII or the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Other than that, rock on, gamers. Beer Ninja out.